The other day, somebody said to me, yeah, Dean, it's easy for you. You got this big platform on LinkedIn. It must be really easy for you to make sales. And today it is. But where I started, it flipping wasn't. And I want to just talk to you because I meet a lot of small business owners, solopreneurs who are trying to make LinkedIn work and feeling the struggle, that battle of it feels like everything's against you. And maybe even you think, LinkedIn's not going to work for me. I can tell you now. Well, let me just rewind to my backstory. So I started on LinkedIn out of necessity. I'd been on Facebook and all the different social media channels. And I had a business split, basically. My business partner decided he wanted to do things another way. And he planned it. And I was left literally holding the baby. So I was kind of underwater financially, wasn't in the best personal financial shape to go through this, and found that the business was in not quite World War III, but you probably get the gist of what's going on. It was every man for himself. And we employed people at the time. So I was there worrying about people going, how do I pay these people? So this is the context of me coming to LinkedIn. It was out of necessity. So I'd been on all the other social channels and I decided I didn't have enough bandwidth to make all the channels work. I couldn't support the effort to make all the channels work, and I didn't have the time because I was in a horrendous financial pinch because of the split. So I decided to go all in on LinkedIn, to the detriment of my Twitter, which turned into a zombie account, to the detriment of my Instagram, to the detriment of my Facebook, and I decided I would crack LinkedIn and make it work. And I had a responsibility to 12 other people in terms of their wages. And I was running a marketing agency at the time. It wasn't a LinkedIn business back then. It was a marketing business. So we did graphics and websites and videos and all that kind of stuff. And I was terrified, absolutely terrified. That overwhelming sense of dread. Hopefully I'm painting the picture for you. But inside a year, I turned my LinkedIn into the biggest revenue source I've ever had. I mean, I'm not joking. And I didn't use ads. I just used the features on the platform. Because I was on LinkedIn, I focused on one particular group of people. And I did and tried everything. I Googled every article. I did every YouTube video. And what I found was half the stuff was missing the right information, or it was out of date, or it was very generic information. And I tried everything. I unpicked everything. I played around with everything to find what would make it work for me. But not just what would make it work for me now. I hate doing sales, really. I'm a salesperson who hates doing sales. I don't mind taking orders from customers. I don't mind customers saying I want to buy. But I don't really like the thought of having to kind of chase down the sale. And in the early days of all of this kind of stuff going down, that's exactly what I had to do, because I had the pressure on me to make bank. I had so much pressure to make the money. I had to do whatever I could do to get a result. And that meant messaging tons of people. I pitched people. I did all of the stuff I now tell people not to do. And that probably makes me a hypocrite. But I realized in the hundreds and hundreds of people I was messaging every week and pitching every week, half of them were just ignoring me because of my pitch. And so I looked at what everybody was doing going, there's got to be a better way here. Because I need this to work, not just like this week, not just this month. I need it to work in 2 years' time. I need something that's going to work for me for the long term. I was fed up of kind of moving from little magic trick and little secret strategy to secret strategy. I was fed up of kind of putting all this effort in and feeling like nothing was coming back. So I said, I need something that will work. And actually, it wasn't about more, it's about less. It was about focus, zeroing in on one group of people zeroing in on one product and one service offering, zeroing in on my content so that my content supported my offer. Most people don't do that, by the way. Their posting, it has no connection whatsoever to what they sell. So we'll cover that in another time. And what I did, after doing this and really making it work and building the business back, getting to a point where we're actually making good money, we're making about $40,000 a month, I went, do you know what? We should package this. Because in my world, it's quite a strange world that I operate in. There's lots of solopreneurs teaching you little bits about LinkedIn. Do this, do that, do the other. But we're probably one of maybe less than 10 companies in the world that have actually mastered LinkedIn as a business. By that, I mean, you can be a solopreneur and you can churn out content and do that, but you can't build a business on it. You can't build an infrastructure with a team because the systems that they teach just don't work that way. They're not designed that way. So that's why we ended up where companies were saying to us, big companies were saying, can you show us our sales team? Can you show our sales team what you're doing? Can you teach us how to do that? And literally, I traveled all over the country, all over the world, showing people the way I do LinkedIn versus everybody else. I eliminated all the things that would harm me. I took out all the stuff that was irrelevant, all the kind of shiny objects we love to focus on, and just went for the stuff that would make us money. But not just make us money today, make us money in the long term. And so where everybody else is automated pitching, I stopped doing that and started doing other things instead. I started using lead magnets, webinars. I started having conversations with individuals. And here's what I found. Instead of obsessing about how do I reach thousands with messages so I can get 1 or 2 sales, I started investing in people, investing in relationships, building my authority, educating at scale. And guess what? The leads started coming, the inquiries started coming, and I've built a whole business on not pitching. A whole business on not pitching. And now we fast forward to Maverick in 2023. And one of the things that we're doing is teaching people how to build a business on LinkedIn. It's not just how to get clients, how to build their business. Now, of course, you shouldn't build your business just on one platform, but you've got to start with one platform. You've got to start with one platform and make it work, and then expand out and develop other channels. So you should be a multi-channel business. In other words, you're selling and winning new business and generating leads from multiple sources. But I know full well from my experience when I was forced that my bandwidth would not support, at that point, my bandwidth would not support me using loads of different channels. And so what I was doing was basically dabbling at a few different things and getting nowhere. And instead, what I did was I doubled down on one channel, focused on making that work for me, get that revenue positive, and literally $40K a month coming from LinkedIn. $40K a month for our agency at the time. And then we built out and we built into our email systems. We built out into paid ads. We still don't use paid ads as much as we could do, but we use them a little bit. We built out into blogging and our SEO, but it all started with one thing. And the number one lesson I've learned in working on LinkedIn is it's what you stop doing, what you stop focusing on that's just as important as what you actually do on LinkedIn. So my goal was I need to pay the bills. Then it was like I need to build a business. Paying the bills is about chasing down people and making some money quickly. Building a business is about having more people in your world who need you than you need them. What do I mean by that? I mean, basically, I knew from the beginning that me going on LinkedIn to get clients is like a short-term strategy. I needed a long-term strategy for LinkedIn. I needed to be able to have leads coming in every week without me pitching or pushing myself on people. And that was a strategy that I invested so much time in because I knew in the long run I would need that. If my LinkedIn required me to be on LinkedIn 4 or 5 hours a day, that was totally unsustainable. Totally unsustainable. So I had to find a way that how can I get more with less? So I invested in webinars. I invested in lead magnets. I invested in building relationships with the right people. I did all of this stuff and stopped paying attention to all the shiny objects and packaged everything that I did into a course because so many people were asking for it. I thought, sod it, I'll make a course on it. So I made a course on LinkedIn called Win Your Next Client on LinkedIn. And I made this in 2019. And we literally sold about 5,000 of them. Yep. And off the back of that, because I focused on one product, people came to me and said, can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? So 5,000 course sales turned into another £1 million of revenue with upsells. It was crazy. And then into 2023, we decided we're going to overhaul this course. We're going to overhaul it, update it, refine the strategies, put all our latest learnings into it, all the kind of updated stuff that we're doing that now is generating us even more revenue than it did. And we called it Six Figure LinkedIn. Because Six Figure LinkedIn, and I'll just give you an example, is if you've got the right strategy, and just do the maths with me here. Now, if you're on LinkedIn and you're selling something between 2 and 5 grand, right? And let's say you're a solopreneur. You don't need many clients every month to actually make bank. You don't need many. But you do need a strategy to get them onto calls. So we reverse engineered all the way from the sale backwards on LinkedIn to go, how many calls do we need? How are we going to get the calls? What are we going to do? All the way to the beginning, back to your LinkedIn profile, so that people could go, right, for me to be successful, for me to hit my goals, I need to do this, this, this. It will equal this many calls. And of those calls, it will equal this much revenue. And it's all dialed in and focused, because we found that as soon as you had that focus, as soon as you had the really clear goals, it all started to come together. And sadly, what happens is we get sucked into the features of LinkedIn and don't really realize how much impact there is in just having some very clear goals that you follow and let your goals determine your actions. So I'm really excited because 2023, it's July 2023, and we are relaunching the Six Figure LinkedIn program, which is literally engineering from profile to client, the whole process of what you need to do to build a business on LinkedIn. Yes, win clients, but actually build a business with predictable revenue, predictable leads, predictable inquiries, which is something nobody's doing. Nobody's doing this in the way that we're doing it. It's totally unique, and it comes from the fact that we've got nearly a decade of experience on LinkedIn. I'm so excited about it. But just to wrap up, I can tell you, and I remember those days when I was doing all the batshit crazy stuff on LinkedIn to make money, and my actions were just about now, not thinking down the road, further down the road, building the business. I was so consumed with what was happening right in front of me right now that it actually blinded me to the big opportunities on LinkedIn. So if you want to know more about what I'm up to, come follow me on LinkedIn. And of course, if you want to know more about this Six Figure LinkedIn course, drop me a message on LinkedIn or check out the link below.